This is Water Elemental.
And this is Axis.
And this is the champion overview for week 23rd, December 13th, 2010.
Got a couple of champions this week. Some of them that are, champions. And I won't describe them any further because they're all special in their own way, and it'd be awkward for me to point that out.
Special as in...
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Just let me finish a thought one time.
Jeez.
It's ridiculous sometimes. Ashe! Heimerdinger! Jonna! Kassadin! Malzahar! Nunu! Shen! Soroka! Teemo! And Trundle! Starting off this week with Ashe, I believe Water here has some choice thoughts on Ashe.
Ashe is a great starting range character. She is one of those characters that is easy to pick up, hard to master, a great character to kind of refine your skills with. She has a great passive where, as long as she's out of combat, she gains additional critical strike chance. She also has a lot of slow abilities, along with her Frost Shot and her Volley ability, also slowing things down. She has great scouting potential, as well as farming potential with her Hawk Shot, letting her gain gold, as well as throwing a giant spectral bird into things and exploding.
Yep, those spectral birds sure are crazy.
She also has her ultimate, which is the giant arrow. Throw it across the map, great stun, great initiator, great chasing ability, great harassment across the map when people are trying to port. She's very fun, pick her up if you haven't already. She is the tutorial character if you forgot about that.
Yeah, very low influence point cost.
Next is Heimerdinger. Heimerdinger is a great turtling character as well as a great pushing character and a base champion. He has turrets, that's his main gimmick. He puts 2 on the ground that deal damage over time. They're self-automated. They do go away when you die, but they are still great for defending towers and not building a base in front of an enemy turret or anything like that. He also has his Hextech micro missiles, which target random enemies and dealing damage. It's great if nothing else is around. It's hard to, target the right person when there's a bunch of creeps around.
It's dummy fire, so be careful.
Yeah. Next is the concussive grenade. It can blind or stun depending how close you are to the center of the axis. It also...
Wait, how close are they to me?
So close that it blinds.
Yeah, I hate being close to the center of the axis. I got heart problems.
They just kind of burst into your bubble.
Let's not talk about it. I'm very depressed.
Alright. His ultimate is Upgrade, which upgrades his turrets and gives them a slow ability, as well as increasing their maximum health and fire movements increase faster. He also has a passive which increases HP 5 around turrets as well as your giant towers, so if they're kind of weak, you can just kind of stand by them for a while.
Again, don't depend on it to heal your turrets fully, as it takes quite a while for them to be healed because it's not very much. But it is nice for the lane phase.
Definitely. Next we have Janna. Janna is a great assist character. She gives a bonus 3% movement speed while she's in the group. She has kind of the thing as Twisted Fae and DJ Zillin. Her main activated ability is her Tornado. Her Tornado channels, depending on how long you leave it there, it deals a bit more damage and goes farther. So if you're planning a good attack in a bush, you let it charge it up for a while and then shoot it out. Or if you're chasing someone close by and you need that knock up, you can hit it right off the bat, hits them, knocks them up. It's a great ability. Next we have is her Zephyr, which increases slows and increases your movement speed as well as you pass through units. So pretty much it's a ghost for herself, which is great because minions can just get in your way and push you around and it always gets you a kill. Next is her Eye of the Storm. Shields enemies or turrets and increases damage. So it's great if they're attacking you or attacking a turret, you pop it on there and then you fortify. It's hilarious. Finally, it's her Monsoon. giant AoE knockback, and heals all your allies in the area for a short period of time.
It's a potable. Next we have Kassadin. Kassadin is a champion you don't see too terribly often, but he's a very enjoyable champion because he's unique in regards that he is a melee-focused caster. He deals an excessive amount of magical damage to those who are unprepared, who have little magic resistance. He can silence, he can blink out of nearly any situation. He can put out a lot of damage, that a lot of people are not expecting. He gets a little bit of mana back whenever he attacks an opponent. Very, very useful. Gives him a little bit of staying power in a lane. He'd, of course, teleport, as I was saying. He can slow, and he can silence. But keep in mind that his AoE little slow ability has to be charged using the spells of the enemies. So, if you're laning against a caster, that's great. If you're laning against two melees, you might want to switch lanes with somebody because your damage potential will be gimped a little bit. Kassadin, though, great champion for surprising your opponents. Very unique playstyles. If you're looking for something different this week, I'd say give him a try. Malzahar is a champion that is heavily dependent on his spell combo. He is exceptionally dependent on it. More so than any other mage, I want to say. Because, really, if you miss your little nether region, if you don't get your dot on him, if you don't get an ignite up, you're not going to get the kill most of the time. So Malzahar, pick him with a competent team, or pick him with champions that don't have very successful escapes or spell shields. Spell shields ruin Malzahar's day, so be very, very careful against who you pick Malzahar against. That said, he's very, very good at farming, and he has a lot of staying power with his dot that gives mana back. So, if you're looking for a mage with a lot of staying power, and that a lot of people are actually quite afraid to attack him alone, not afraid to gank him, but they're afraid to attack him alone, he's definitely a good champion to pick. And with a champion like Warwick and Malzahar on the same team are extremely deadly, because that's two suppression ults that stun for 5. So, very, very good.
He's a great team up, especially with someone like Janna or Ashe that have the stun as well.
Definitely, definitely. Next we have Nunu. Nunu is a tank, AP, AD. You can build him really whatever way you like, and he can be successful, which is one of his strengths. But at the same time, he lacks really that edge that a lot of people has. He's a great chaser. He's really good at assisting teammates get away. He can help kind of with towers, and he has a good AoE. But none of his abilities are too great. So you want to make sure you have a good team to back you up. A good team with Nanoo can be very, very powerful because he can assist in almost any situation, but he can't really excel in any situation, is basically what I'm trying to say. He's very good with the laning phase. He conserves his mana very well with his passive, and he can get health back with his bite ability. And he can chase very well, like I was saying. His iceberg little blast is very good slow, especially with relies. If you double dip with relies, it's pretty hard to get away. And his ultimate is hefty amount of damage. Keep in mind, it's very easy to interrupt. It's pretty much like putting a flag on your says it says stun me, CC me, anything. But yes, Nunu, pair him with a good team comp, pair him with people who are good at certain roles, and he can assist in almost any situation. Shen, best tank out there, forever. That's all I gotta say. No, but really, he's got an energy system, so he's never running out of resources. He gets health back with Vorpal Blade. He's got a line taunt. They can taunt almost the entire enemy team if you line it up right, which, I mean, I doubt you'll get the chance, but it's quite funny if you do. He's got an ability that can turn any gank, any team fight around. His ultimate can do any of that. And then, of course, he's got a damage shield, which is just amazingly useful. It is beyond godlike, I will say, because of the way it stacks with his armor and magic resistance. It is just a great ability to have in his arsenal, especially after the nerf to his ultimate.
A lot of people say, well, so-and-so is better than Shen. Shen is built for one purpose. A lot of the other champions people mention also have other abilities, like a Momo. He's great as a jungler. Shen, not so much. Shen is great for one job and one job only, is to protect his team and tank.
Yes, and that said, he counters melee very well with Vorpal's, or with his passive, Key Strike. Especially when you get higher levels of HP, he's just going to be dealing massive damage, especially if they have high attack speed. So don't be afraid to go toe-to-toe with a melee. And Thornmail, Randuin's Omen, great items. Check them out. Soroka! She is a champion. That is something. Unicorn Face is an interesting champion because she has low damage. And she's a silence that has somewhat okay damage. She gives a lot of mana back. She can heal. She has two heals, which is nice to have. And she has a magic resist aura. Nothing about Soroka really says, hey, I'm going to get massive kills. She's a good support, but besides healing and just keeping other people ready for combat, she doesn't really do anything. Unlike Janna, who can chase very well, who can knock people up, who can CC people, can help your team get away, Soroka doesn't do that. She just heals people and she silences one person. And that's really all you can really say. I mean, she can reduce magic resistance. If they stand still for 30 minutes, you might see some noticeable magic resist chains. But overall, I've never really been a big fan of Soroka. Again, if you're playing with competent players, she can be very, very effective because you can essentially make your entire team just have an extra 500, 600 HP because, you know, she's very good. And of course, magic resistance is probably the best stat in this game, so who can argue with that? But still, not a big fan of Soroka. I just don't see how she has any offensive role in a team. Is just not very good.
If you're looking for an offensive healer, you definitely want to go with a Tarek or something and can at least go
Tarek or Janna, definitely. Or Sana, even. Sana's probably the best.
Yeah. Teemo! Teemo is our little scouting friend. He has a lot of scouting capabilities with his mushrooms, as well as his camouflage and his other abilities. He's great for setting up a lot of traps and kind of great ganks. He has a slow, as well as he has a poison. He can get across the map pretty fast, and he's pretty much undetectable. He's great for a lot of his abilities come down to once he hits level 6. You kind of have the map advantage because of all the mushrooms and just all the ways you can set up traps. Even in 3v3s, it's just great. I've actually seen games where Teemo single-handedly distracts people just by placing mushrooms. I had a Jax that was sitting there. He would hit the mushroom, go for the next mushroom. Not going after the Teemo, but just sitting there distracting while we took out the rest of the team and came back for him. So some people are so over-paranoid with these mushrooms that they will literally just sit there and smack mushrooms and trip.
And nothing's better when you see your Teemo by Dragon, and you just gonna run in and you think, oh, I can beat him down, I can take out
Mushroom!
And all of a sudden you see another guy pop up. So you're like, okay, you turn around, you try and run away, and you step on one mushroom and then two mushrooms, and then Akbar turns around on his chair and goes, it's a trap! Friggin' get ganked. It's really funny to trap people. By the way, I just wanted to point that out.
Last but not least, Trundle, a very great character to play with if you want to have some fun. He is great early game. He's like Urgot, but not as dependent on skill shots. He's great early game, and he has great chasing capabilities, but just late game he kind of lacks in damage. But he's still a decent player on a team if you work well. He has his pillar, which gives a slow and as well as a giant interruption and cuts off paths. He has his bite that deals a lot of melee damage, and he has his corruption that gives magic resist and makes a little base. He is a great character if you want to have something fun to play with this week, and overall he's a new champion to try out. So,
and that's really it for this week. You guys enjoy playing champions that are, you know, existing?
Not the unexisting ones?
Yeah, those darn non-existent champions. What were their imaginary imagination?
I want to play Platinum King. I'm playing Platinum King. Oh, wait.
I want to play Platinum Venomancer. That exists, right?
I think in Heroes of Newith, but no one plays that game.
They do. They're just not happy.
God, why am I playing Heroes of Newith?
Alright, well, that's all I got. This has been Axis.
And Water Elemental.
The holding sector, Geisha.
Admiral, we have enemy ships in Sector 47.
It's a trap!